Yes, sir.
He was. I said, all right, Pastor.
You're listening to The Voice 17104.com.
But you hit your got it on there.
Yeah, I got it.
Oh, you got it.
Hello, everyone. How you doing today? Hope you're doing fine. I am. Blessed by the Holy Father. Live and well. We're here. I want to welcome back here. Direct place here on The Voice 17104. Here with Pastor Chris Thomas.
Welcome back, sir.
And we're here to continue our discussions as we do every Thursday. Weren't here last Thursday, and we apologize. Scheduling mix up, when you're trying to balance things between work and life and things you have to do. Life gets in the way. But we compensate for that. But we're here this week. 2 weeks ago, we had Sister Crystal Davis here. And all of you by now should know that Sister Crystal Davis is running for Harrisburg City Council. She was endorsed by the local Democratic Party, identified as the Dauphin County Democratic Committee. She, along with Cole Davis Goodman and Lamont Jones, received those endorsements for those 3 council seats. Okay? Along with various judges and, Mr. Claude Phipps for 12-105 District Justice seat, along with Matthew Pienka for 12-102, received the Dauphin County Democratic Committee endorsement, as well as myself. LSR Rick Roy received an endorsement to return to the Harrisburg School Board as a school director. And very appreciative of that, and I'm happy for them. Democratic candidates to represent City of Harrisburg, to continue to move this city forward, continue the progressiveness, the aggressiveness for a new day. Sounds positive to me. Should sound positive to you. In this world of uncertainty, all kinds of things going on. Nothing new in the world of politics. They just polish them up, put a different face on it, different clothing, wind them up, just let them out there, almost like dolls. And you listen long enough, I've heard this before, or I've read this before. Back a couple of years, you'll find it. Moving on for our local politics, national politics, and some state politics. And you listen, guys like Kevin McCarthy, Speaker of the House, National Speaker of the House. You listen to him. with this guy dumb as a box of rocks. And that's probably why the extreme mega wing of the party, which is a handful of people, control the entire Republican caucus. Fascinating, isn't it? A handful of people. I don't think it's 6 of them. They might got 7 out of it. The lunatic fringe, election deniers, conspiracy theorists, and some of the craziest conspiracy, and they believe it. They believe it. Running Congress. And that's not to say there aren't some good Republicans sitting there allowing that. Oh, we're scared of the Trump base. What Trump base? See, my grandmother told me something years ago. And this is, I don't know if you could call it the genius or the of this whole thing, or lack of a better term, I'm gonna leave it there because some may call it that. I just see the consistency in it. If you tell a lie long enough and loud enough, someone's bound to believe you. And that's simply what the mega leaders have done to misguide the uneducated. As you remember Donald saying that? Donald Trump stood on the national stage and said, I love the uneducated. They can be easily misled. And that's what they did. And they get up there and lie to the people with no truth, nowhere near it. Mislead them, misguide them. And then they perpetuate it so greatly that it's still the Trump base. And I just look at the TV and look away. The news be there. If that was the case, they wouldn't have lost the last 3 election cycles. The Trump base. Where? Well, one of them tried to explain to me, nice Republican fella. Rick, let me tell you something. We're not talking about the general election. Everybody votes in there. In the primary, Democrats, as if I didn't know this, but I'm a good listener. And you be a good listener too, because you learn something. Well, in the primary, Democrats vote for Democrats, and Republicans vote for Republicans, and that's where the base gets you. Is that where they get you? Yeah. Because Trump targets you in the primary, and he gets the people on his side. They can vote you out. So you tell me everybody that votes for Republicans in the Republican primary is stupid. And What got me is he paused. He actually paused. I said, really? No, I'm not saying that. Well, seems you saying that to me. And everybody that votes for you in the primary, if you don't criticize Trump or McCarthy, Gatz, Marjorie Taylor Greene, Lauren Boebert, and all them other buffoons, you'll be okay. I said, you actually turned your party over to a bunch of fascists, bunch of racists, bunch of neo-Nazis. You remember them marching in Charlottesville where they killed that woman? White woman they killed. Because see, sometimes we get to the point we don't believe that white folks was in the civil rights movement. They were all blacks. No, they wasn't. I'm here to correct it. No, they were not. You ever see King's March on Washington? See how many Caucasians was out there? Do you think the Ku Klux Klan would have attended anything like that? John Birch's society? Huh? The neo-Nazis? No. How many marches in the South? Started with Freedom Summer, where they killed the 3 civil rights workers in Mississippi. 2 of them were Caucasian. Swarner was a Jew. Mickey. Andrew Goodman. Think about that. That takes us back to Charlottesville. Took a vehicle and ran them down. A lot of them injured were Caucasian. The woman killed was Caucasian. There were plenty Caucasians fighting in the civil rights movement, the LGBTQ movement, women's rights movement. There's nothing new in the world of politics. Times change, people change, conditions change. It seems like they remain the same. That's why the struggle continues. Struggle continues. But don't stand up there and making these speeches and these statements. We did this ourselves. No, we did not. And I don't think anyone else can in America do it themselves. Like that idiot Donald Trump. Donald Trump going to jail, you know that. And very well he should, but he's not going to jail and thinks he should go to jail. Hush money payment to Stormy Daniels. I don't know why he did that. Should have went right in there and told your wife, say, hey, we really got something to tell you. This is gonna come out and this happened. Usually you should have got out in front of that. Trying to pay money and hush it up and with all them crooks he was dealing with. It was gonna come out, but And there's probably a whole lot of other things came out. You got to remember, Cohen was your fixer. Anytime attorney has earned the identity of a fixer, I mean, this guy went around doing a whole lot of stuff for you that wasn't quite legal. Well, he probably did a whole lot of legal things too. I mean, that was the easy part. They did a whole lot of things for you. And he knew where all the bodies was buried. The last thing you should have did was piss this guy off. So tell him what Cohen told the FBI. And anybody else that were listening. But you wonder why Trump and Vladimir Putin had nothing new in the world of politics then. Vladimir Putin and Donald Trump. Cut buddies. Who guess who else is they cut buddy? Xi Jinping in China. My grandfather said birds of a feather flock together. Now, what's baffling to me, you have one tyrant over there talking to another tyrant. You know Xi Jinping is in Russia right now. About what? Well, the newspapers and the media reported they're talking about how they can bring about peace in Ukraine. I said, bust out laughing. One evil talking to another evil about how to bring about love. Well, that's an impossibility. How to do what? Xi Jinping tore it up in Hong Kong. You remember that? Just flip the script completely in Hong Kong. Well, that's our people. We can do what we wanted. Do what you wanted. They're still human. They still belong to the human race. They're part of the human rights community, aren't they? This is what Russia has done to the Russian. Putin has done to the Russian people. All under the guise of maintaining power and control. But now these two guys get together. Xi Jinping's over there right now with Russia, trying to talk about how to bring about peace. How to bring about peace in Ukraine. That's amazing, isn't it? You talk about bizarre. Then they come out and try to sell that to the people. You know, the cult followers. That no matter right, wrong, or indifferent, what he does is okay. Like Donald with his cult followers. No, it's not okay, folks. It's only okay if you ignore it. I ignore it. The rest of the world ignores it. Look at Doug Mastriano. Well, thank God Josh Shapiro is the governor. Doug Mastriano would have set the state back 200 years. Whoever the Trump base then, even they wasn't stupid enough to vote for Mastriano. Well, no, this guy. That's all they was like, this guy. That's right. Because he's worse than Trump. Tell you somebody else worse than Trump because he's smarter. And that's Ron DeSantis, governor of Florida. Listen to him carefully and listen to him well. Because he's not more polished than Trump. He actually can speak. He has an education, and he is dangerous because he has them same Trump ideas. He's an extremist. Goebbels. You heard that name before? It was Hitler's man. Where do you think they get all this conspiracy theory stuff? Goebbels was the best propagandist in the world. People study propaganda, study his work right now. How he spun, how could you make the Nazi army and the SS and spin them into some type of saviors and heroes? Rebel did that. And they're doing it right here. Conspiracy theories. It's all propaganda. To make the good guy look like the bad guy, and the bad guy look like the good guy. To the point where actually get people to believe and follow them. Luckily, most Americans have a brain and think for themselves and can think through the foolishness for the sake of democracy and its preservation. But just want to stop by and give you some food for thought. Think about that. Keep your eye on the developing situations around us because we eventually get swept up in them. So just be prepared. And guess what? I'll see you next week here at Rick's Place on The Voice 17104. Take care. Pastor, I think it's next week's our week, ain't it? We'll settle up.
Oh, yes, sir.